started his musical career singing with a rock band in a local boys' club. He had his first #1 in 1959 and has stayed in the charts ever since, winning 10 gold discs. In a world of constantly changing fashions and musical tastes, he has survived where he started on top. He is, of course, Cliff Richard, and I'm very privileged to welcome you, Cliff, today.
Thank you. Nice to be on TX.
Yeah, good, I'm glad. Well,
Yeah.
we've got lots of questions that have been sent in,
Okay.
and, well, we've had to cut them down, so let's
All right.
kick off straight away with
Do my
this one.
best.
Now, we've heard that you were born in India, and
Yeah.
the first one is from Deborah Spalding, who's 8, from Taunton in Somerset, and she says, did you ever ride an elephant when you lived in India?
No, I never saw an elephant till I saw one in London Zoo, I think. I mean, India's not quite what it's cracked up to be in terms of, like, I mean, everyone thinks Africa, there's lions and tigers everywhere, but in fact, an elephant I never saw.
How
I'm
old were you
afraid.
when you did leave?
I was 7.5 when I left India.
Okay, and she also asks, what sort of pets do you have?
I've got 2 dogs. One is quite old now and in fact deaf. That's Kelly. She's 12. No, she's 14 years old, so that is really getting on for a dog. And I've got a little West Highland Terrier that my fans gave me called Emma, who's definitely not deaf. And certainly got nothing wrong with her throat either.
Okay, Bradley Stew from Exhall near Coventry says, how many cars have you got and what make are they?
2 cars, and I reckon they're the best. I've got a Porsche 911 SC Targa and I've got a Rolls Royce.
Ooh, sounds lovely.
Oh, it's fabulous.
Okay, this is one about the British obsession with food. We've got lots of people. Olivia Willis from Dublin, Stacey Millington from Settle in Yorkshire, and Alan Blagden from Grimsby, among others, who say, what do you have for breakfast?
I eat 1, maybe 2 slices of brown bread toasted with a cup of coffee.
And that's all you have?
That's all I have for breakfast, yeah.
You make up for it later on, perhaps?
Well, I skip lunch, you know, but I have dinner at night after the show, so I try to keep my weight down.
Oh, I know the problem. Gillian Parr from St Helens asks, what is your favourite food?
Oh, Indian food. I can't eat that too often either. I mean, you know, it's really great food to eat, but you really can't eat it too often. You lose a lot of friends because of the garlic they use, and also it is also fattening.
But it's lovely. Sharon Chewton from Thornton in Cleveland is going back a little bit now. When you changed your name from Harry Webb, how did you come to choose the name Cliff Richard?
We were sitting around, actually. I'd just been singing at a place called the Two Eyes Coffee Bar, which is where Tommy Steele and many other early rock and roll stars were found. And I'd got offered a job in Ripley and Derbyshire to play in a ballroom there. You know, someone was having a dance, and they said, we'd like you and your band. And we'd like to put Harry Webb and your band name. And I thought, oh, well, I don't like Harry Webb. So we said, we've got to think of a name. And all I remember is that the last few sort of names was, they were Russ Clifford. And I went, oh, that doesn't sound right. And they said, what about Cliff Russard? And I thought, well, the Cliff's okay. That sounded tough, you know. But Russard's no good. And then someone said Richards with an S on the end. And then a friend of mine who wrote my first record called Move It, a man called Ian Samuel said, do you remember that one?
Oh, absolutely, I had it.
Well, he said, what about paying a tribute to Little Richard? And we'll call you Cliff Richard, and your name will be unusual because it's 2 Christian names, but it'll also be a little tribute to Little Richard. So
What a
that's
lovely
how it came
story.
about.
Okay, well, Sandra Mailer asks from Southgate, what do you think you'd be if you weren't a pop star? There's one for you.
Oh, it's always hard to think of these things, especially when you've been a pop star as long as I have, because, you know, I've been singing for 4 or 5 years now. And I guess there was a time early on in my career when I thought I'd quite like to teach. And maybe that's because my career has dealt with communicating to people. And very early on in my career, of course, I was dealing with a lot of young people all the time, and I quite like young people. So maybe teaching might be a profession I'd look towards. I don't know. It's
Okay.
a difficult job, isn't it?
It is difficult, yes, I've done it. Right, some personal ones. Do you hate spiders and creepy crawlies?
I hate spiders.
You hate spiders. What colour pyjamas do you wear? Asks Andrew Stott from Burnley.
Well, they're usually striped, and the pair I like best are red and white.
Red and white. Okay. Hannah Jeffries wants to know, or rather, she wants to know for her daddy, what is your secret of staying so young looking?
Listen, Daddy, there's no secret. If I don't look my age, it's just pure luck. I have got a mum who looks younger than I am, and she's older than me, you know.
Okay, this is a really, really interesting question here. Helen Bradgate from Crowborough in Sussex asks, you help many people less fortunate than yourself through charities such as the Tear Fund.
Yeah.
Do you get a feeling of satisfaction from this, or do you feel that you ought to help because you have more than they do?
Bit of both, really, because though anybody living in this country has got more than most people that live in Bangladesh, for instance. When I went there in '73, there were 80 million people living in a country as small as Scotland. And all of us in England, every one of us, even if we had £1 a week pocket money, had more than some families had over there. So we should give because we've got a lot. But also we should give not because we're guilty, but because we're grateful. And I'm grateful for what I have, so it's nice to be involved in things like that, and there is a great deal of satisfaction. So all those things come into it, I think.
Great, thanks very much, Cliff.
Okay.
Well, Cliff has a new single out very soon and a video to go with it, which isn't quite finished yet because it's still being edited, but we hope to show it to you next week. Now, Cliff, you'll be helping us choose the Pop Pundit winner very shortly.
Yes,
But
I
before
will.
that, would you tell us about your competition, please?
Yes, okay. Well, now this apparently is just for mums, dads, aunts and uncles, probably grandmas and granddads. And there's going to be, I've signed 3 albums, so that's the prizes. The 3,
Right.
oh, there they are, look. And the question is really simple. I nearly gave it away and I held myself back in one of my answers. I have had a very famous group, but they've had 2 names. What was the original name of my backing group?
Okay, we'll repeat that for you just to make sure you get it right. What was the original name of Cliff's backing group? Okay, if you know the answer to that question, drop us a line on the back of a postcard and you could be in line to win one of the 2 or 3 autographed albums. The address is Cliff Quiz, TX, Granada TV, Manchester M60 9EA. That's Cliff Quiz, TX, Granada TV, Manchester M60 9EA.
A gold disc of AHA plus an LP, and the others will receive 3 LPs. So here goes, Cliff. Let's pick the main winner.
Mind you, I thought they were going to be number 1 too.
Right.
This is from Joanne Pode, 25 Grasmere Drive, Wallasey, Merseyside.
Brilliant. So well done,
done.
Joanne from Merseyside. Your gold disc will be on its way to you forthwith. And for you, Kirsty Broadgate of Shetland, Lynn Rouse of Surrey, and Helen Tilsley of Essex, you'll be sent 3 top pop albums. So, AHA never quite make it to number 1. But there's no reason why I should say that, because they haven't had a hit either since then. But Will Feldergul Sharkey with a good heart. He's now at number 2 in the Independent Network chart, and still going...
Round 3 of Kaibo.
And a film report on the wild and woolly West, where men are men, women are women, where men have got to do what men have got to do, where life itself hangs upon the draw of a gun.
Tony, why don't you shut up? Look, we'll see.